my name's Vicky and I am a vet in the UK, and I just thought I'd make a little video about prong collars because I've seen lots of interesting posts about it and people saying, oh, you know, it's a tool for training and anything can be misused and cause damage. Whatever training things you use, prong collars are a useful tool. So I just thought, well, I've never seen one, I've never handled one, so why not see? So this is the prong collar I've just bought off eBay. It cost me about £8 or £9. There's dozens out there, all sorts of sellers. It came with no fitting instructions or use instructions whatsoever, just a little leaflet of other things the seller sells. So while I'm sure there are some good sellers out there, obviously there's some pretty unscrupulous ones who don't even provide you with any instructions or information on how to use these things. So you certainly could end up using it not even how it's intended if you didn't get any information with it. I bought one based on the size of my neck, so it's pretty massive. It probably would fit, I don't know, a bull mastiff, an Alsatian, something like that, in real life. It has this sort of chain section on the end of it with a little sort of clip bit there, which means you can sort of attach it to the other part and make it shorter. This is actually really fiddly. And when I tried it on myself a few minutes ago, it actually very easily and quickly got tangled up in my hair, which I know you could argue I look like a spaniel, but it did make me think that if you had a longer haired animal, it would actually be very easy to get either this chain or the prongs just caught up in the hair on their neck, their ears, and it actually really yanked my hair, so it was quite painful. So I've now got the prong collar on. I looked up some instructions on the internet from some trainers and people who advocate these things, so this is apparently how it's supposed to go on. So I've clipped that clip on the end, so now if you pull on it, obviously it can tighten around my neck. Even just wearing it on my neck, it is quite uncomfortable. It's prickling into the skin around the back of my neck. Obviously you could argue I've got no hair, unlike some dogs, but you know, I own a Staffy, and he hasn't got much more hair than me, I would say, in terms of any form of protection. And likewise, trying to move it around my neck is incredibly difficult. It really drags. So actually it's quite sore, just even trying to turn it around. So if you didn't put it on, you know, exactly the right way around, putting it on your dog, trying to manipulate it around the neck when they're probably not going to stand still and be helpful like I'm doing to myself here, it actually just hurt just getting it in the right place. As you can see, it's quite loose on me right now, but I have got that chain bit to hold on to. So if I just tighten it on my neck, such that it's just sort of sitting against my skin, it's hard to describe the feeling. I thought it'd be very painful, and actually around here it is quite painful. Yeah, so more towards the edges at the sides. So I'm imagining, I'm holding it as if you had a dog on a lead who wasn't pulling, just going for a normal walk, and it is quite tight. I certainly wouldn't want to pull on it any harder. But what's most striking me actually is across here where my Adam's apple is, where my voice box is. It's really uncomfortable. I'm not even pulling on it. This is only just just holding the tension, and it really doesn't feel nice. And every time I swallow, just while I'm talking, it's quite uncomfortable. So I'm trying to imagine being a dog, just going for a walk, even if you are sort of behaving, not pulling. It's not a nice feeling. It really doesn't feel very nice at all against your neck. And if I loosen it off again, I think you can probably see there that there's red marks on my neck here. So just from holding it against my skin, not pulling on myself, just holding it next to me, it's already causing damage to my skin. And there is a scratch here somewhere where the first time I tried it before making the video, that caused that scratch. So it's pretty easy to damage yourself, and I'm pretty sure my dog's skin's actually thinner than mine. So that's pretty worrying to me. So having fitted it the way, you know, I'm advised to, if I tighten it against my neck, how it's supposed to, if I pull back, I've only got a little bit of tension on it now. I'm not, you know, obviously I'm not lunging for it like a dog might do who you're trying to train. I've just got a bit of tension on it. It's getting very painful at the sides here. But most striking here is, again, is this part across here, across my voice box. I'm actually going to let go because it's uncomfortable. It's horrible. It actually, it feels like, you know, somebody sort of hit you in the throat like this, like accidentally, that really nauseous, sick feeling you get. That's actually what it feels like. It's really awful. It was actually hard for me to talk to you then, because it just made me feel really sick, and that really surprised me. I didn't realise that's actually how these things work, but I can imagine being a dog, particularly if you were to lunge against that, it'd make you feel just so sick and so uncomfortable. You wouldn't want to try that more than once. So I can imagine if people who advocate these things think, oh, it works fantastically, because once you've pushed that, you know, really against your voice box, you know, you do it once, you're not going to want to do that again. It's really, really quite uncomfortable. Now, purely for demonstration purposes, I'm now pulling it about as tight as I can bear. You can probably hear a slight difference in my voice because it is really cutting in. So I haven't lunged against it, but I'm pulling it back as hard as I can really manage. Again, it's very, very painful around the sides where the prongs are digging in, but more than anything else, it is just really, it makes you feel sick across your voice box. And it is a little bit harder to breathe. I think you're going to hear that I'm having to take a slightly more deliberate breath, because you have to sort of, as your voice box expands, just to breathe in, it obviously expands against those prongs, so it really hurts. So, you know, this is the reality of what these dogs who are wearing these things are going through. They're actually just breathing when pushing against this thing. Is actually quite uncomfortable. Okay, so I've now taken the collar off, which again was actually quite difficult to do, to unclip it and not get it tangled up in my hair, not drag it against my skin, trying to get it off. So again, I think, you know, taking it on and off a dog, he's not going to stand still necessarily and let you do it very easily. Potential to cause harm is quite high, I think. And I think you can hopefully see, just from those few little exercises, you know, this video is a couple of minutes long, how many I've got these dents and marks in my skin. And it's, you know, it's still persisting quite sore, and that sick feeling across my voice box is still there. It's still quite painful. So to be honest, overall, having, you know, given this a go and seen what it's like, I think the pain factor is definitely there. It's definitely pretty sore. I can still feel it tingling here and here, but actually that real sick feeling across my voice box was quite a surprise to me, and that was actually the worst part of it. And personally, as you know, as a British qualified vet, I would argue that these being used deliberately on an animal would be deliberate cause of pain and suffering. That is compromising their welfare. That is making them feel pain and discomfort around their neck and around their voice box. And like I say, I didn't lunge against this or do any other things that dogs who are in training might do. And again, it caused me enough pain and suffering now, and I'm still sore. So on that basis, I think these are an instrument of torture. I think they should be banned. I think they are horrific and completely unnecessary. Feel free to share this video far and wide. I'm very happy to back up everything I've said. I just think, we need to get these things banned. It's just not necessary to train our dogs this way. It doesn't have the results we're looking for, and it's cruel. If you love your dog and want it to be a happy, healthy, you know, balanced, well-trained, obedient dog, this is just not the way to go.